back to another episode of Revealing Biblical Truths. We are continuing the study of Genesis, and today we are starting with chapter 18 and ending with chapter 22. This content deals with the birth of Isaac, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham's dealings with Abimelech, and Abraham's test on Mount Moriyah. Before we begin, be sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, share, and comment down below if you want me to cover other topics. Genesis 18 starts out with three men appearing to Abraham. Abraham tells Sarah to prepare a meal for them, and then Yah tells Sarah that she will have a child, to which she laughs. The men head towards Sodom, and Yah tells Abraham that he will destroy Sodom because of their sins. Abraham begins to bargain with Yah, asking him if he will destroy the city, if there are 50 righteous men found there. Yah says he will save it, but he doesn't find 50. Abraham then continues to bargain, going all the way down to 10, and that ends chapter 18. Chapter 19 opens up with two angels coming to Sodom. Lot sees them and begs them to come into his house. They initially refuse, but then go with him, and he makes them food to eat. And as many passages tell us, the angels took on human form and were able to eat food. The men of Sodom then surround Lot's house and ask to see if the angels are there so they can have sex with them. Lot tells them instead to take his two virgin daughters and have their way with them, but leave the men alone. Of course, this would also be sinful, but to lie with men is an abomination in Yah's sight. The men didn't like this answer, and they tried to hurt him, but the angels pulled him back in and blinded the men outside the door. He told his sons-in-law who were married to his daughters, but they mocked him. In the morning, the angels took Lot, his wife, and his daughters and brought them out of the city. They told him to flee to the mountain, but Lot reasoned with them and asked if he could go to Zoar instead, and Yah allowed it. Then in verse 24, there's an interesting phrase. It says, "And Yahuwah rained sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah, from Yahuwah out of the heavens." That word for heavens is Shemaim, which in Genesis 1:8 it calls the firmament. So it rained fire and brimstone from the firmament, and it says Yah rained it from Yah out of the heavens. Abraham was talking to Yah on the earth, and at the same time Yah was in the heavens, raining down fire. How is this possible? Number one, because Yah is Yah and he can be in two places at once, and number two, it could be because the pre-incarnate Mashiach was there appearing to Abraham, just as was in the case of Adam in the garden and Moses from the burning bush. It then says that Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt, a Netziv Melach. In the morning, Abraham looked up and saw the entire country was full of smoke. Lot eventually moved into a cave and left Zoar. One of Lot's daughters said to the other one that there was no man to continue the seed, so they devised a plan to get their father drunk and lie with him to preserve the seed. Of course, this was wrong, and Yah did not tell them to do this, but so the first night the older one went into him, and the next night the younger went to him. The firstborn was called Moab, the father of the Moabites. The second one was called Ben-Ami, meaning son of my people, who was the father of the Ammonites. This map shows where the kingdoms of Moab and Ammon were in relation to Israel in the Dead Sea. And that ends chapter 19. Chapter 20 begins, and Abraham goes south of the city to Gerar, close to Gaza. There he meets Abimelech, which was a king in the area. His name, Abimelech, means father of the king as well. Once again, Abraham tells Sarah that she is his sister, to say she is his sister as he did with Pharaoh, because he was afraid of what would happen to him because of her. Abimelech takes her in but does not touch her, and Yah does not harm him. And Abimelech returns her back to Abraham and heals him, and his maidservants end up bearing children. There appears to be two Abimelechs. This one and another one that appears later as the son of Gideon, who is also the king of Shechem. That closes chapter 20. Chapter 21 starts, and Sarah has Isaac. Abraham circumcises him on the 8th day, and he is 100 years old when Isaac is born. Isaac was weaned, and Sarah tells Abraham to kick out Hagar because she doesn't want Ishmael to be the heir. He was troubled by this, but Yah tells him that Isaac shall be the heir, and that Ishmael shall be a nation. So Hagar went out with Ishmael to Beersheba, but she ran out of water. Desperate, she tossed Ishmael underneath a bush and started to cry. Yah came to her and told her that she shouldn't cry because he will be a great nation. She looked up and saw a well and gave water to Ishmael to drink. Ishmael became an archer, and he lived in the wilderness of Paran, which is south of Hebron, about halfway to the Red Sea. And Hagar took a wife for him from Egypt. Meanwhile, Abraham makes a covenant with Abimelech at Beersheba. The name Beersheba means the well of seven, because that was where Abraham gave Abimelech 7 lambs, and in turn, Abimelech let Abraham dig a well there. This well is still there to this day. And that ends chapter 21. Chapter 22 opens up, and Yah tempts Abraham. He tells Abraham to take his son Isaac to Mount Moriyah and offer him up there. They left and came to a mountain, and he said him and Isaac went up to the place and laid wood on him. Isaac asked his father where their lamb is for the offering. Abraham replied with a prophetic message. My son, Elohim will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. This is prophetic, where Yah provides himself as the lamb in the man Yahushua HaMashiach. The Hebrew word there for offering is Strong's number 5930, Olah, and means to ascend. This is where the Muslims get the name of Allah from. It means to ascend. In a way, Yahushua did ascend, and Allah up to heaven. Now Abraham got a knife and was about to cut Isaac, when the angel of Yahuwah stopped him, and Yah told him not to do him any harm, because he feared him and has not withheld his only son from him. That word for only is Yachid, meaning one and only, but it also comes from the root word Yachad, meaning beloved. This event is a foreshadowing of Yah sending his Yachid, his beloved and only son Yahushua, to die on the tree for us. Following this, Abraham sees a ram caught in the thicket and sacrifices it instead. He calls the place Yahuwah Yireh, meaning Yah will provide. This ends chapter 22. Now, something interesting is found in the book of Jasher regarding this event. It says, And Ishmael boasted of himself to Isaac, saying, I was 13 years old when the Lord spoke to my father to circumcise us, and I did according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke to my father. And I gave my soul unto the Lord, and I did not transgress his word which he commanded my father. And Isaac answered Ishmael, saying, Why dost thou boast to me about this? About a little of thy flesh which thou didst take from thy body, concerning which the Lord commanded thee. And as the Lord liveth, the God of my father Abraham, if the Lord should say unto my father, Now take thy son Isaac, and bring him up an offering before me, I would not refrain, but I would joyfully exceed it. And the Lord heard the word that Isaac spoke to Ishmael, and it seemed good in the sight of the Lord, as he thought to try Abraham in this matter. And the day arrived when the sons of God, the angels, placed themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with the sons of God before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said to Satan, What is thy word to me concerning all the children of the earth? And Satan answered the Lord and said, I have seen all the children of the earth who serve thee, and remember thee when they require anything from thee. And when thou givest them the thing which required from thee, they sit at their ease and forsake thee, and they remember thee no more. Hast thou seen Abraham the son of Terah, who at first had no children? He served thee and erected altars to thee wherever he came, and he brought up offerings unto them. And he proclaimed thy name continually to all the children of the earth. And now this son Isaac is born to him. He has forsaken thee. He has made a great feast for all the inhabitants of the land, and the Lord he has forgotten. For amidst all that he has done, he brought thee no offering, neither burnt offering, nor peace offering, neither ox, lamb, nor goat of all that he has killed on the day his son was weaned. Even from the time of his son's birth till now, being 37 years, he built no altar before thee, nor brought any offering to thee, for he saw that thou didst give what he requested before thee, and therefore he forsook thee. And the Lord said to Satan, Hast thou thus considered my servant Abraham? For there is none like him upon earth, a perfect and upright man before me, one that feareth God and avoideth evil. As I live, were I to say to him, Bring up Isaac thy son before me, he would not withhold him from me, much more if I told him to bring up a burnt offering before me from his flock or herds. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Speak now then to Abraham, as thou hast said, and I will see he will not this day transgress and cast aside thy words. Very interesting, huh? It was because of Ishmael and Satan that Yah tempted Abraham to prove a point, but also to be a prophecy about the Mashiach. Thanks for watching. Till next time, Shalom.